Hey there folks, rinimt here, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn. In the last part, we went ahead and did a batch of Beast Tribe quests. All of the a day's worth of the combat ones for A Realm Reborn, and now I found we have a hunting log to do here. So, stop casting sounds again. It's cheating. We need to kill 3 of these little sidemen for our Grand Campaign log. So let's go ahead and do that. I had to go ahead and scout where there was 3. I'm like, oh, I don't remember where they all are here. So that's 2 of them. And there's a reason I'm in this area, and I only found out about these enemies because of the fact it was listed on her recommendations. I'm like, oh hey, that's in this area. So finishes that up. But the reason I'm actually in this area is because this is where we need to go to unlock our other current dungeon for the what would have been the current patch. So over this way to the west of the Aetherite, if you go to the left side of this little split here, the right side leads to Skullfire Quest stuff. You're one of Eileen's, aren't you? That one's got a ghost in her attic, you know, keeps sending other adventures to that damn place she calls a palace, thinking you're gonna bring her feller back. 'Twas 7 of us that day, one of them her feller. My best friend was another. As soon as we walked in, the Tumberry attacked. It was dark and we couldn't get purchase on the floor, for 'twas covered in slake slime, then in blood. What more is there to say? Only Aline and I made it out by the grace of the 12. Everyone else is dead. Thank God leave my brother by another blood. If I hadn't seen what the Tumberry left, I saw no treasure there, only death. I said my piece. Still want to see for yourself? That's your business. I'll ferry you there, for my adventure days are over and I'm the boatman of this lake. She thinks they all live, you see, all 5 of them, hiding from this Tumberry somewhere in the palace. She tried to flee to the infirmary. She told folk about her friends needing rescuing. Then she got sly. Ah, poor lost Aline. So let's go ahead and take the gold pieces, I guess. And that gives us access to the Wanderer's Palace. So one thing I didn't note for Andor Cape because we unsynced it is these actually have an item level sync to them as well as the level sync. So both of these are synced down to item level 110. Of course, if you unsync it, it gets rid of that. But if you go in with just a regular group, it will bring you down to an average item level of 1 to 10. So it means since we are 112, we'll actually go down a little bit. Also, now you can see in our character sheet here under reputation along with the commendations, we can of course see our progress for the Beast Tribe relations. 10. Yeah, so Nope. Alright, that was pretty much instant, as it was, and I was just kind of derping, pressing the right button for a second there. So welcome to Wanderer's Palace. Oh, Wanderer's Palace has a little bit of a story. A lot of these level 50 things do, because they were kind of like, you know, still finding their footing on how to do content. So it's like, do we do this? No, do we do this? How about this? And so it's like, so what used to actually happen here is, you know how I keep saying and we keep demonstrating that like people will just rush ahead, grab everything? Well, they would do that in Wanderer's Palace. They would rush ahead with as much as they could, get away with, get to the first boss, then keep those enemies behind the barrier that appears, and once the barrier came up, the enemies would de-aggro and leave everyone alone. However, they have since fixed that, and now enemies will just come in through the barrier and have no care in the world that, oh yeah, so, you know, you've done that. Alright, so don't actually need to fight those. Those are just going to run off. And we have a couple Tumberries. I have a couple Tumberries on me, specifically. What the? What? So, the big gimmick of the lag here, oh my gosh. The big gimmick of this dungeon is that there's gonna be this giant Tumberry that's, like, following us, basically. And you need to stay ahead of it. If you don't stay ahead of it, it will catch you and then start doing a bunch of damage. It'll start, like, basically stabbing. And you know previous Final Fantasy games, you know that they are like to want to use a throat stab sort of move on anything they can that they catch up to. And yeah, so basically that's what you have to do in this dungeon, is you have to stay ahead of that Tumberry, that giant Tumberry. So yeah, before, like, there would be little tricks you would have to do, like you'd have to hide in certain parts of the room while you waited for it to go by, because, you know, you weren't damaging fast enough to get ahead of it. And yeah. So, let us do not allow the Tumberries catch this stalker to catch you. So actually, there is a treasure chest right there. However, you'll note very distinctly that I am not going for it. Oh, why, Rennie? You go for all the treasure chests. Well, if you go for it, then you saw those little beetles that spawned a little while ago. If you go up to that treasure chest, then those beetles are going to spawn on you for daring to go for that treasure chest. So yeah, basically you do the minimum to get this, like back in the day what you do is get the minimum to get this particular door open, and then you'd run all the enemies that were left. The Tumberry Stalker, once you go through there, does give up. You run them left, and then you would stand basically right here while it's sealed off for 15 seconds, and then yeah, you would just not have to fight those enemies. But yeah, they have fixed that, so now if you try it, they will come in the door. They don't care. So this is Keeper of Halidom. It's going to be doing this sort of inhale thing, and if it catches anyone, it's gonna gobble on them for a bit and then spit them out. If it catches no one, it's gonna be like, ugh, and then poison us all for a little bit. It's also putting up a reduced immunity on the tank. I did not mean to go back here, but I did. It is what it is, I suppose. And that's really the basics of Keeper of Halidom. Just nothing really major for him. So, getting some loot drops here. So, going into the second section, we're going to have to avoid more Tumberries. More giant Tumberries, specifically. I don't know, I'm thinking of a different part. I'm thinking of the next part, I think. Come on, it's not too far away. So, we are, at this point, I'm thinking of the next section, we need to kill some Tumberries because we need to get some lamp oil, some lantern oil, because we need it to be able to use the devices that are in this area, in order to progress onwards. So, here's the 2 lantern oils. Let's go ahead, continue on up here. And you'll find the 2 Nimian devices on either side. Because they're rusted, you do need that oil. We have another Tumberry here, of course. You can also see on the right how many lantern oils we have. We have the 2. But we are going to need another one immediately after we finish this part. So, let's go ahead and use one of the lantern oils on this device here. The other one gets used, which will open the door, and then right ahead of us is another rusted device. So now you'll look to one of the sides. I think it's this side. If you look to the side here, you'll see a Tumberry Stalker spawn. However, there's some treasure hunters there that it's going to delay it for a little bit. So what we need to do is we need to go to the left here, because there's a Nimian device in there. You don't want to go outside here, but apparently we're going outside here. I don't know where this tank's going. We need to go in the middle because there is a device in there. So yeah, this is the part that I was trying to think of with there's a bunch of stalkers in here. So you got one right here. You can kind of slip in here. And let us interact with this device. And it is now deactivated. You don't need a lantern oil for that particular one. And it's also now lost interest in us, the stalker. So, but thankfully we don't need a lantern oil for that one. But we do have 2 more coming up. But now this thing's kind of reset on its pattern. Now it's trying to come back this way. And now it's stabbing people again. So we need to lose interest in it. So they're kind of trying to lose interest in it. I still don't know where the tank's trying to go here. But, because, there's definitely a dead end right there. Yeah, I don't get where the tank was going right there. It's like, this isn't that hard to do. I mean, I guess you can go down that way, but it's kind of awkward because you can see another stalker down there, right? So you don't really want to go that way. Where the heck are these people going? Like, for real. Where are they going? Okay, we'll just duo this one here. Like, what? Are they really that scared of the stalker? Like, you can seriously outrun it and it barely does any damage, like, comparatively anymore. So I'm just very, very confused. So over there is another treasure chest. I believe more of those beetles spawn if you try and go for that one. Yeah, I'm so confused. So we've got another rusted device here. Notice we also have 2 tumberries here. So let us take out these 2 tumberries. And we can pick up 2 more flasks of lantern oil. Because we do have 2 we are going to have to do. Because another one's way at the end there. We see that stalker heading. So we need to head down this way. Bonsai! Come on, y'all are chickens. Chickens! Seriously. Ha! I got a treasure coffer. Look, I didn't even aggro the tomberry. Like, seriously, people. Didn't even aggro the tomberry, and I got all the way there. I almost didn't even aggro the enemies, so... Okay. Yeah, I'm still sticking with chicken. Yeah, so there's a lot of stalkers in this room. This room used to be a royal pain of wipes back in the day. So this boss, I honestly never have understood this boss. It's something to do with colors and who it goes after, and I just beat it up. See enemy, punch. That's how I handle this one. Like, yeah, I honestly have never understood it properly. I believe you need to, like... Yeah, you need to kill these off, otherwise it, like, gets a buff, and... I don't know. If it, like, eats them? I think that might be it? Like, it eats the certain colors, gets certain buff, and makes the fight harder? I don't know. See enemy, punch it, till it dies. That's my philosophy in this fight. Pretty good philosophy if you ask me, actually. Oh yeah, now it's focusing on a single target and it's dead. So, let's pop open these 2 treasure coffers and then we're in the final ascent. So there is, of course, going to be another tomberry stalker coming after us. Are you noticing a trend here? Yeah. No! My stacks. My precious stacks. Let's crack this chest open. Minion! Need. Mine. Gimme. Hopefully I get the minion. So this part, this part, because it's like so close and when the stalker spawns, it's so nearby. Yeah. Yeah, it was really bad way back when, because you also had to pick up these lantern oils, right? Yeah. So anyways, we got 2 more rusty devices up here. And we've got 1 lantern oil on us. Let's go ahead and kill these remaining tumberries. And I don't know which one we're focusing on. We're kind of focusing on both. Nope. Nope. Let's go ahead and use it over here, which will open up the door to the final boss. So the final boss, there's going to be ads. We're ignoring the ads because if you fight the ads, it buffs the boss. Yeah. Yeah. So, we're going to ignore the ads as long as we... Seriously, Tank? Seriously? So here we have a situation where the tank can't be bothered to wait for a new person to the dungeon. And instead... they have to rush on in, so we missed the first part. So yeah, these Tumberry ads are going to be spawning, and he's going to be using this grudge skill that will do damage based on how many of them you have killed in this particular fight. And eventually he's going to, like, pull them in, and, like, they'll still buff him that way, and yeah, you just don't want to kill the ads. Seriously. God, I hate when tanks do that. So now we missed, like, literally half the fight. It's cool. That was not getting a commendation from me. Because waiting 15 seconds is too hard for a new person. And they still haven't finished rolling on that minion. I want the minion. Give me minion. Minion? Please? Yay, minion! I want it. Thank you. Like I said, I know who's not getting any commendations. Because, God forbid, they wait. Okay, yeah, I'm not making a 17-minute video. We're going on to the next phase of 2.0 content. I was going to do it in the next video, but it's like... it's kind of this awkward place where I just didn't know where to put this dungeon. There was no good place to put in the Beast Tribe video because that was so long. No good place to put in the Relic stuff because that was so long. And now this next part's going to be so long. It's just like, where do I put this dungeon? So, I guess we're just going on to the next part. So, the next part involves us returning back to the Waking Sounds. No, not the 2.1 story. Oh gosh, they're all named this similar. I need to look up which one I need. Okay. I figured out which quest it is. It's Primal Awakening that we need. When the Cineri moon died away, and there sounded the blood-curdling roar, a new primal had roused. The portents gave us to believe one whose identity yet lieth beyond our ken. By thy hand 3 primals have since been vanquished. As each returned to the Aether, 'twas observed the tremors foreshadowing this fourth grew in strength and frequency both. The being doth quicken, and in time it shall become a scourge upon the land. Yet even as we pondered a course of action, a benevolent soul did arise, one who would forestall this threat. Though she be tender in years, she is true of heart and steadfast of resolve. She would solicit thine aid, if thou art willing to proffer it. Lest thou wonder, this maiden is of our order. Thus did the antecedent straightways consent that thou shouldst assist her howsoever thou mayest. As soon as thou art able, hie thee to one port, where thy petitioner doth await thee even now. Thou shalt for a certainty find her visage strikingly familiar. I would rather voice the Hagen than Uriange. Oh my gosh. Sorry. I just can't. Okay, so in one port we will find ourselves in Alizé. It's been a wild adventure. As I recall, my brother Alphino took the liberty of introducing us when first and last we met. But for the sake of propriety, Alizé Le Verrier, I thank you for coming. I've heard much and more of your exploits. By your hand, the Black Wolf is slain and its ultimate weapon destroyed. You are possessed of great strength and courage, that much is plain. I shall have need of one such as yourself if I am to see my mission through to its conclusion. As you may be aware, the violence of Dalamut's fall changed not only the face of the realm, but also the base of the realm. Specifically, it played havoc with the etheric currents, creating vast confluence of ether below the surface. Among other phenomena, this led to the formation of subterranean caverns at key points of stress. One such cavern lies beneath Castrum Ostodens, and extends to only the gods know where. Despite appearance, Castrum Ostodens is as much a research facility as it is a fortress. Goddess von Veilstar chose the site for no other reason than to probe the caverns without interference. As you went about vanquishing the returned primals, I observed a repeating wave pattern in the aether corresponding exactly to the dates on which you were reported to have felled Ifrit, Titan, and Garuda. Upon closer examination, it became clear that these unique waveforms emanate from deep beneath the aforementioned stronghold. Crucially, I recorded the same pattern during the recent celebrations, and have since been given to understand that this phenomenon bears a disquieting similarity to one observed shortly prior to the calamity. 5 years ago, my grandfather invoked the power of the 12 that he might contain Bahamut. Alas, his efforts failed, and he vanquished together with his foe. I would know the truth of what transpired that day, of grandfather's fate, and of the metamorphosis that swept across the land. In casting light upon these mysteries, we will find a way to cure what ails this world. It is my belief that the answers I seek lie hidden within the depths of the cavern. I would have you accompany me on an expedition to find them, Arya. If truth be told, I am not wont to rely upon others and have thus far handled matters alone, yet I am not blind to my limitations, and unescorted I cannot hope to succeed in this endeavor. I swore that I would find a way to restore peace to yours, yet if you desire the self-same, then aid me as you aided my brother and the Scions. I am in your debt. You are a woman of action, and I sense that we will accomplish much together. But let us not waste any more time. As I mentioned, Castrum Ostodens straddles the cavern I wish to explore. If I am to have a hope of reaching it alive, I will need you to infiltrate the stronghold first and locate a path into the depths. Once you have done so, pray report your success to Storm Private Jabronka. You may consider her my assistant here in Wineport. I have every faith that you will not fail me. 12 speed your way, Arya. Alright, let's head over to Castrum Ostodens. We haven't actually been to Ostodens. We've been near Ostodens, but we haven't actually been there. So remember the place where it's like, yes, there's high-level enemies over here. We don't want to play with it. Yeah, we're gonna go play with it now, because they're level 49! Oh my gosh. Alright. It's fine. So, luckily we can just fly in. We don't have to fight anything. Except right here. I guess we do have to fight this. No, stop hitting me. Ow, stop hitting me. Stop hitting me. Thank you. Gosh dang it, you had to turn around right then. What the heck? It's cheating. No, I couldn't see where the servant grill was, and I saw it too late. Man. Alright, we definitely fought our way through. I mean, we did have to do a fight. It would have been funnier if we hadn't had to do a fight, but we had to do a fight. So let's go ahead and go back to Wineport and report back to Jabronka. Have we seen Jabronka before? I don't remember. Which one's Jabronka? No, we haven't. We have not seen this NPC before. Been expecting you, Arya. By your coming, I take it you have successfully located the cavern entrance inside Castrum Ostodens. So that's where it's to be found. Marvelous! Oh, but allow me to properly introduce myself. Jabronka is the name, and it is my honor to serve Lady Alizé, though for reasons of convenience, at present I also serve the Maelstrom. This uniform accords me certain privileges, you see, in particular, ready access to the Maelstrom's regional scouting reports. They provide a wealth of local knowledge, including information on secret passages. But enough about me. I shall notify Lady Alizé of your discovery that she may prepare for the expedition. I don't doubt your abilities. None can say what dangers lurk beneath Castromosodens. For my lady's sake as well as your own, please spare neither preparation nor caution. Pray choose your companions well. Duty Finder has been updated with a new regular duty. The Binding Coil of Bahamut is now accessible. So, Binding Coil of Bahamut is a little bit different from pretty much all the other raids. It is very, 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 very heavily story-based, but it's all within the actual raids. While the others are story-based, they are not within the actual fights themselves as much. And you can also not find it in the Duty Finder Roulette. You have to manually choose it via doing like this. So technically we could just skip to turn 5, which is the final one of this first section. But that would be skipping the story. So real quick, one thing I haven't really explained. So we do have a few more duty roulettes available to us. We have trials, which is everything in this particular trials tab. We've got the 50, 60, 70 dungeons, which, well, for now is just Amdapor and Wanderer's Palace. Praetorium and Castrum Meridianum are, of course, the main scenario. And, well, leveling is what we've already had, and same with Guildhess. So, now, of course, if we try to do this unsynced, bad things will happen. Or if we try to do this synced, bad things will happen. A, will be synced. B, it'll take us forever to find anyone. And I don't like that prospect. So I actually have a little bit of knowledge in terms of this particular section of Binding Coil, or of the coil in general, because I actually did this on level back in the day. It's like the only part of the coil I did on level. So let's go ahead and head into Binding Coil of Bahamut turn 1. So we, Flame Kitty and I are going to be trying to actually show some of the mechanics that you can encounter in here. So, but of course, we aren't going to have story. Imperial Exploratory Site 237 yalms under the sea. No, just below ground. So, let us head on forth. And so it's a pretty basic path just to start things off. You can tell like there's actually been some work into digging through here, specifically by the Garleans. Right up here, we are going to run into our first cutscene. The scars left by the calamity. I can scarce breathe for the surf of the Vaethor. Tell me, have you ever seen corrupted crystals such as these? Such crystals manifest across the realm when the course of the great river of Aether was irrevocably altered 5 years ago. Behold, one of the objects that caused the alteration, a fragment of the lesser moon Dalamud. Ancient Allah created Dalamud, a meteor, to use the Garlean name, to serve as a celestial prison for Bahamut. Its fall inflicted grievous wounds upon the land, wounds that would have yet to heal, as is evident from the corrupted crystals. Amazing! Dalamud's internal defenses still function in spite of everything. Testament to the ingenuity of the Allagans. The Garleans seek to appropriate her advanced technology. I'm certain of it. We are about to come face to face with secrets that have long lain buried within the sands of time. Great dangers may lie beyond, but we have come too far to turn back. The truth of the calamity is within reach. Alright, so we do have our first boss up here. I'm also going to turn this up because I love this mix. So this is ADS. This used to be a big choking point back in the day. So it does this move called High Voltage. It's stunnable Or it's not silencable, but it is silenceable. And it also does this AoE repelling cannons. So eventually, after some time, you can no longer silence high voltage. And of course, it didn't have the indicator about it being silenceable back then. So it would just do so much damage. Also, like it was saying in the chat, charge complete in 4 clicks. So after that while, it's just going to do a massive raid-wide damage and do a ton. So the other thing that's really unique about this in terms of raids, is that you can access all of them up front now. It used to be you did have to do them all in a row, but now you can just access them all up front, whereas the others you still have to do them in a row initially. Gods preserve! Dark wings that would engulf the very heavens. These could only belong to Bahamut, the primal who laid the Yorzy the waste 5 years ago. I can't know. My grandfather sought to imprison Bahamut anew by invoking the power of the 12. Alas, the driver proved too powerful that he soon broke free of his confines. And instead of resuming the destruction he had begun, Bahamut vanished. Whither to, no one knew, until this day. I do not understand. If Bahamut is truly a primal, how is it that he retains his physical form? Did grandfather defeat him? Or is there some other explanation? We must press on if we are to learn the truth. But yeah, so ADS used to be a giant choke point for just random groups because so much damage. Alright, so before we can get to the last section, we need to breach a couple of ethereal fields. And to do this, we have to go through a bunch of trash. So, even back then, all you would do is you would simply rush through and just kind of smash them all. There's really just not much to note about them in general. Just like, whatever, you know? So it's pretty straight path, really, to get through here. I don't know why those took so long to aggro me. What the heck? Oh. I say straight path, and then I go the wrong way. Yeah, leave that to me. Leave it to me. They'd be like, oh, straight path. Wrong way. Pretty straight. Not completely straight, but pretty straight. So to actually unlock the path, your true goal is these dark matter golems. Once you take care of them, the path will open, and of course we are going to have to do it a second time because we do have to breach 2 of those particular fields. So, don't believe we want to go that way. Alright, there is that. There is a bunch of stuff over here. I'm going to sneak over and grab that map bit real quick, just because there is a little bit of map over there. And we've got our other dark matter golem right over here. So there's definitely a little bit more of a side pathery going on in this second section. But we have made it to the end. The very big thing, of course, with this is good luck finding 8 people willing to do this synced anymore. So, oh my gosh, this boss. Ooh, this boss. So our first boss, our first proper boss of Binding Coil of Bahamut is a big snake! Oh my gosh, snake. So, the big kind of gimmick with Caduceus is that eventually at an HP trigger, it's going to split in half. And so you have to have each tank kind of tank it separately here, so that it doesn't, you know, isn't able to easily be able to reform and get a damage buff from doing so. So here we go. As you can see, it now has a damage down debuff. And it's also put some goop on the ground, so the mages and stuff would actually kind of chill up here. But yeah, so, and you kind of want to make sure you kill them together. And yeah, so the longer they are together, the more physical damage they'll increase they will get. But of course they have remerge, which means that they are going to be stronger, and they're also getting that damage buff. So it's a race against time in terms of the damage your tanks are taking and all that, and just make sure you're keeping them separate. And I tanked this a few times, and oh gosh. This was back when I was on controller, when I was playing on PS3, when this game first launched, because I didn't have a good enough computer back then. The computer is still somewhat questionable at times. Anyways, we get a couple chests here at the end with a bunch of random stuff. The Aether Stones there used to actually be worth a little bit of money, but they kind of had to lower a lot of the selling prices on stuff when they upped the trial length, just because they didn't want people being like, oh, we could just sell this in mass for 100 gil or whatever. Now it's like, oh, we can sell in mass for 26 gil. Anyway, I still need to find that Kobold missionary in this area. Oh, I never noticed that on here. Interesting. Should be... This is on Bloodshore. Should be down here, probably. Anyway, let's go into Binding Coil Turn 2. At the depth of 112 biomes, you find your path blocked by Dalaman's internal defenses. Born of advanced elegant science, these spherical constructs were still fully functional even after eras in existence, and will seek to annihilate all intruders or be destroyed in an attempt. So, oh man, turn 2. There was pretty much a cheese that you could do in this particular turn back in the day. So there is, bosses have what's called an enrage timer. After a certain amount of time, they'll either do a super move that just completely wipes you because you didn't kill in time, or they'll start trying to wipe you by going crazy. But there was a cheese on this fight, and what you would do is you would wait for that enrage timer, because it wouldn't do any other mechanic, and it would do no other moves except for that move that was trying to wipe you. So you would just have to wait for that for it to hit its enrage timer, and then your healers would just have to heal while you just beat it down and didn't have to worry about the actual mechanics of the fight. And yeah, it was like 12 minutes of waiting. Oh man. Just trying to figure out how we're gonna do this. So there's these different nodes as you progress onto the boss. They're gonna see different names. So you charge complete in 12 clicks. That is your indication of that particular enrage timer. So you can also see down there is where our boss is. We're like, where'd we go again? There's multiple paths you can take, and the path you take will determine what sort of stuff will happen with the boss. Like, will it get weaknesses to these kinds of moves, or defenses to these, and I guess it's not really weakness, defenses to these kinds of moves, or whatever. So it's like, I don't remember. So this one has attack node, and you also it has piercing resistance is increased. So like, for instance, we're already kind of buffing up the boss, because we can see based on these attack nodes what we're doing to this boss. That being, see, 11 clicks. So now it has blunt resistance increase along with piercing resistance increase. Nope, my stuff wore off. So there would be a particular path you'd take to have the best options for your, whatever your party makeup was, and there's the final boss. It is an ADS again. I think we're gonna have to run... Oh. We are going to head into ADS, and now it also has haste on it. So, it's still gonna spawns these disposal nodes, and it's gonna buff itself with that and use chain lightning and high voltage and this piercing laser, and ow, my face! That hurts! I also really do like the music in this particular turn. It's good because of the whole waiting 12 minutes to hit and rage thing. Oh man. Yeah, so it's kind of really all over. But hey, we got the full map. We're also picking up a lot of random freaking gear. Like, a lot of random gear. Alright. Onwards and forwards. So, turn 3. Turn 3 is why they no longer do five sets per raid, actually. Turn 3 is a literal joke, and it was just a literal wall for anyone who was trying to clear these every single week before they just let you do them at whatever point. The depth of 1,233 yalms, your party comes upon the fragment of Dalma the Garleans had sought. Oh, I was gonna see if that was better. Its true identity is the Ragnarok, a colossal starship which fell from the Lesser Moon moments before Bahamut burst free of its prison over the Cartano Flats. To reach your destination, you must venture through this relic of ancient outlook. Stay ever on your guard, for every shadow may conceal danger. Yeah, so turn 3 is literally why they no longer do 5. They do 4 now. This is actually the only section they do 5 in. Turn 3 serves no other purpose besides just being a roadblock to anyone trying to progress and go through this. And I guess a tiny little bit of story, but it's like, oh gosh. Oh, it's such a joke. I can't even keep a straight face. I'm talking about turn 3. Oh my goodness. So yeah, even back when, you would literally just kind of bonsai through here, and you would go through rings. And yes, we're literally Sonic right now. Yep. So you would just, charge on through, and there's different paths you can take, but don't ask me which way is the right way. We can fight. Yeah, that's an option for sure. Like I said, I really don't know which way is the best way. It's been... Oh, I don't think it was that way. I think that was the wrong way. It's been so long since I've touched turn 3. I don't even remember it. Oh my gosh. Alright, so that was the way forward up there. Yeah, you can see how interesting turn 3 is. I can't even keep a straight face. Oh gosh. Alright, so we need to go forward. Alright, hey, we have another enemy, another golem guarding this terminal. We actually have to examine this terminal. I guess I'll do that while Blankety fights that. Alright, ethereal field dissipates. Teleportation terminal is now offline. Forward, I believe, this one. Same? Kind of going down. I kind of want to go back up. This way? Question mark? We're not doing a very good job of going Sonic speed through these rings, are we? Almost triggered the wrong one. Ah, no, but I'm gonna be up there. Oh, whatever. Not worried. I can take him for a second. So it's just literally just a bunch of trash you have to get through. I think we want to go on that way. And then down some more. This way we're going down. I want to go back up. There's a treasure coffer. Yeah. Hey, we're going back up. Excellent, excellent. Alright. This way, I guess? Hi, I'm standing right on it. Thank you. I will go ahead and hit this silent terminal again. Alright, so if we're taking someone without online, helps if I read properly. It's not offline, it's online. We're turning him on. I'm not turning him off. Hey, look! I recognize that area. Oh, we're going further down. Yeah, this is about how interesting, this area is. Oh my gosh, I don't know which way we're going! It's been too long! I don't remember turn 3. Alright, we're going this way, I guess. We've decided we're going this way. I feel like we're about to go in a loop, but hey. What can I say? I think that's gonna go over there. So, this way? Yay, I did it! We're on the second blade. We got somewhere new. This one. Just think, you could do this in like 3 minutes if you actually knew which way you were going. If even 3 minutes. But, that requires one thing. Being practiced at doing this turn, and that's one thing we definitely are not. It's been a long, long time. I think I've cleared this thing like twice ever. There's very, very little purpose other than getting that check mark on your log and getting your 100 poetics bonus. Speaking of, yeah, I also assume we're going this way. Alright. Alright, so it looks like this is where we're gonna power the Allagan node. Yeah, you do that. I will, interact with this terminal again. And I guess if you forgot something, you can go back. Yay, we beat it! We literally don't even get drops. Yeah, so, this is why they don't do 5 anymore. They do 4. Because that's what happens when they do 5. It's so much better for it, too. Oh my god. Oh. Alright, screw it. We're going through all 5 this video. And I guess next time it's gonna be 2.1 story because I am out of stuff on my list to do for 2.0. So turn 4 is, it's another sort of enemy rush deal, but a little bit more interesting. If I remember turn 4. Yeah, I do remember turn 4. It's a little more interesting than turn 3, because instead of going down, you're going to be on an elevator. And yeah, there's no cutscene at the start. Alright, so we want to examine this terminal behind us to begin. Aha! There's the cutscene. Drive cylinder, 1,524 yawns. Hey, I've seen those enemies in FF12. So... let us go ahead and just AoE these down. So the big thing here, of course, would be to make sure you cleared each one before the next one would appear. And you have wave after wave of these particular enemies. So they're going to have a stone skin on them, which prevents damage of certain types. And then we're also going to have some more of these clockwork bugs. I'm also in Fist of Wind still from running through 3. So this thing got a buff because we brought those bugs so close to it. They have these spinner rooks, not really much to know about them. It's just really just making sure you kill each of these waves before the next one spawns. And that's literally what it is. It's just elevator down, enemy rush. Not even really a boss rush, just an enemy rush. So these Clockwork Knights are gonna, if you hit them with magic damage, they're just gonna repel it. So you really don't want to hit them with magic damage. Whereas the soldiers just have that physical stone skin for a bit, which you can get rid of. And that's turn 4. Turn 5 though. Ooh, turn 5. Oh, turn 5. Yeah. So turn 5, when this initially launched, you couldn't actually beat turn 5. Like, they had set it to be so impossibly hard that you could not do enough damage or survive enough damage in order to actually win. Like, that's how hard it was. They even said, like, when it came out, that they were going to be doing a patch of 2.01 to make it so you could get it, which also meant because so this game does have a platinum on PS3 and on PS4 now. It was PS3 and now it's PS4. It was both. Yeah. On PlayStation. It has a platinum on PlayStation. One of the trophies to get that is to beat Binding Coil of Bahamut turn 5. So, of course, that made the platinum impossible until they patched it to make turn 5 actually doable. And even then, turn 5 was super, super, super hard. Like, oh my goodness, it's on par. It was on par with some of like the hardest content that still exists that exists now relative to that time. Like, Coil, they realized they really needed to take a step back and like not have the difficulty be so high as it was with Coil. Because Coil's difficulty is way higher for the level it's at compared to the 61, the 71, and the 81. Now, the 81 is hard. I won't lie, the 81 is difficult. But it's also 80. I don't know why it just popped up recommendations. That's really weird. So anyways, it's just a little walk down here. I actually had someone carry me through this to get my platinum. I won't even lie. I got carried through this fight at level 50. This is going rather more smoothly than I expected. It is indeed convenient to have a hero on hand. Gosh, that the cavern should open up again, even at this depth. Huh, this resembles a finger. And so it should. This is Bahamut's hand. As with the wings, it seems to be frozen, and for that I count my blessings. But again I found myself wondering, how is it able to retain its physical form? I had assumed that Bahamut's reversion to Aether was the cause of the widespread changes to the realm. If he was still here, then that theory no longer holds. What was it then that brought about the realm's sudden regeneration? There's still so much we don't know about Cartano. I haven't the slightest inkling how deep these caverns run, but we must continue. So, yeah. this fight. Oh my gosh. Meet the stuff of 2.0 nightmares. This is Twintania. So, yeah, there was a multitude of strategies. I never actually beat this way back when. But, yeah, so what you would do, eventually, I need to pull up my duty list here. Party? Waymars, okay. So it was one of these where one of these two markers are that you would go into when Twintania entered a certain phase, let's say. So the first thing, of course, you want to do is get rid of the ads. You do not want these ads to be out because they are going to be doing a bunch of damage to you in addition to what Twintania is doing. Because they're also going to be dropping these fire pools. And so this is Twintania's Tank Buster, I do believe, because it's Tank Buster on some similar later enemies. And it's also going to put down this dampening field underneath of it. And also it has this effect for... Ow, I got fireballed. Oh right, you have to go into the dampening area for the fireballs. That's right. I remember. Alright, so I'm gonna hide this so we can actually watch the fight. So it's using what's known as dive bombs. This is where Twintania is gonna rush across the thing. So what you would do is you would go into these holes, and then whoever got targeted would come out, get hit, and then rush back into the little gap here. It's like I said, it's one of these two, and that's what you would do to get through these dive bombs. And eventually, these ads would spawn, and tanks would have to drag the two little ones, I believe, away from the bigger one. Like I said, this is all going off very shaky memory. It's been a while. Yeah, actually, no. Yeah, because then you don't want your main tank to get that vulnerability debuff. So yeah, you would go over here, wait for Twintania to do the dive bombs, run back out, or whoever got targeted runs back out, then runs back in, and rinse repeat until finally you hit the next phase of this Twintania fight. So, we're going into some more dive bombs. As you can see, it really kind of just sends you shooting across the stage. And of course, we have another ad phase. Because yes, there is a tad bit of downtime here in Twintania when you're not actually fighting the actual boss. So to deal with those ads, you get back to the hole, wait for Twintania to come back. So of course, Twintania is nowhere to be seen. Yeah, I was supposed to run into there for my targeting thing. I forgot about that part. Oh my gosh, yeah, so this is the problem. Here's just... Because they have this all in the timer, right? Because obviously this was meant for level 50s, not for a level 80. So when level 80 doesn't, it just kind of demolish the data, it's kind of demolish the timer, and then you're just stuck waiting. So Twintania is back. And now she's more mad than ever. It's going to be doing a bunch of damage, doing a bunch of things, and I never actually saw this part of the fight because I never got past dive bombs. Yeah, so with Twister, oh, yeah, that's a thing, we wiped. Yeah, so Twister, Twister. Alright. Let's try this again. With less death this time, maybe. Alright. So we want to run back in here. Except not all the way to the edge. That was my toe. My toe went in. Alright, so Twintania's back, however, we're gonna go ahead and just take it out. There's some tether as it will tether to someone that kill, and yeah. But let's just go ahead and take out Twintania so we don't have to deal with Twisters, specifically. And the Binding Coil of Bahamut is complete, and with that we've done, well, everything that's in the base 2.0 content. So we'll go ahead and return to the start. It actually means we're returning right here. And so we get a faded copy of Thunderer. That is... that's a thing for sure. So some of these, like, elegant Aether Stones used to actually be worth something, but oh hey, I had to come back here for the map. And yeah, so that's the end of Binding Coil and the end of 2.0 content. And Yeah, so there is a second coil and a final coil. Oh, oh, sorry. We've got a little bit of story to go through first. We need to examine the silent terminal. I forgot about this part. Let's activate the lift. This contraption, is it used to control the saturation of aether? Suppose there's only one way to find out. The dragon you vanquished earlier, doubtless you noticed the peculiar contraption about its neck. It was likely a receptor of some description used to enslave the creature. Ancient Alec possessed the means to control dragons, it would seem. The Ishgardians would kill for this knowledge, though, to be sure, it could as easily be brought to bear against them. An army of dragons could turn the tide of any battle, as the Garleans once learned to their sorrow. I would not be the least bit surprised if they now sought to exploit this power. Whatever their plans, this serves as another reminder of the might of the Allegans. One cannot help but wonder how so advanced a civilization came to fall. Gods be good! This is Bahamut's head! And that enormous crystal. It pulsates as if it were a heart. And the problem that had awakened was Bahamut all this time? No. This cannot be true. This would mean the grandfather died for naught. Confound it! We do not know enough to strike at it now. We must withdraw. Who is that? No, it can't be. Grandfather, is that truly you? No, don't leave me again, please. Grandfather! I know. I can do no more for now. Alright, so all we can do right now is exit. Can't even go down there to examine. But this looks like... How we come to be in northern Thonalon of all places? Oh, but such details matter little. Grandfather's alive, Arya. Bahamut did not defeat him. But why won't he return to us? I don't understand. This expedition has yielded more questions than it did answers. At any rate, we would both be better for a rest. Let's return to the Waking Sands and reflect upon what we have seen. Thank you, Arya. Without you, none of this would have been possible. I'm good with not returning to the Waking Sands for now, actually, if I'm honest. So where the heck in North Thanalan are we even? So I hit the right button. Oh, we're right there. Okay. So yeah, I believe if I return to Waking Sands, it's actually going to send me off to what would be from 2.3 or 2.2, and I don't want to touch that yet, not until we're at 2.2. So this is how I'm going to be doing this stuff. Is like I'll be doing them after each appropriate patch. So after 2.1, I'll do like the raid and content app that was released then. So I guess next time we will actually head back to the Waking Sands and speak with Benfilia and proceed with the 2.1 story, unless I can think of other stuff to do. There is crafting stuff I could show, but I'm waiting a little bit longer till I get a little bit higher on that. And yeah, I should go spend some tombstones too. Get some better gear. Upgrade my gear a little bit more here. So, yeah. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking, commenting, and or subscribing. If you really enjoyed it, consider supporting the channel. Support greatly helps her keep being content like this. You can find the links for that in the description, along with links to me on social media. So thank you again for watching, and until next time, this is rinimt, signing out.